It's Luke and Naomi.
All right, welcome to episode 79. Getting up there.
We are.
Getting up there in episodes. That's
We're
a
getting
lot.
old.
Yeah, getting old in episode years, which, by the way, we May 4th, I believe, was an anniversary. 2 years of this.
Wow.
Which is just way too long.
But if you think about it, too, the math doesn't add up.
Oh, absolutely. We don't have 2 years worth of podcasts. Let's not, is that what you mean? Like,
yes,
Yeah, let's not try to claim anything like that. I am Luke Austin. That's Naomi Lynn. Welcome to Luke and Naomi on Air, featuring Naomi's Under a Rock reviews. We are going to have a little bit of fun, and we'll get to Naomi's review of Footloose and sort of a backdoor my review of Footloose.
Yeah.
But if you're new here, used to have a morning radio show. Now we like to have a little bit of fun, and we discovered along the way that Naomi has never seen any of the movies.
Any of them.
So
like, nothing.
We are going to, we sit down, we watch the movie, Naomi reviews it. We don't talk about it at all until now. So any questions I have, I save and wait until we record the podcast. So basically, if you've seen the movie, you get to relive your first watch through Naomi's eyes.
That's
if
right.
You've never seen it. Well, Naomi will let you know if you should bother.
That's right.
Because there are a couple that
There's
she
a
has
couple.
not liked.
Yeah, there's a couple where I'll tell you not to waste your time with it. And if you already wasted your time with it, I'm sorry.
Any of them come to mind right away?
The second Wizard of Oz. Return to Oz.
Return to Oz.
Hocus Pocus. If you have not seen the movie Hocus Pocus yet, don't.
Just don't bother.
It's so overrated. So overrated. I said what I said.
So
I'm not worried about it.
we'll find out how Naomi feels about Footloose, because we went through her first, and I'm pretty sure it was my first watching too. I thought I had seen this, it having been on where I'm almost as old as Footloose.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I'm older now that I think about the year it came out. Anyway, so I really was sure. I mean, you know the story of Footloose going
Everybody
in anyway,
does,
right?
Yes.
But yeah, so we'll get a little. I'll kind of start sneaking my first time watching it thoughts in along the way, but it will be Naomi's Under a Rock review, because she's the one who lives under the rock.
That's right. That's my home.
That's right. So if you were with us the last couple episodes, we're on a journey.
We are.
We're on a journey to see.
Join us on this journey.
To see how Naomi does gardening, a notorious brown thumb.
That's right.
So we have an update on the little salsa garden. We've got San Marzano tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, green onions,
cilantro, and
jalapenos.
Yeah.
You want to tell everybody how they're doing?
They are beautiful. We have multiple sprouts. They're growing tall and strong. We left them out in the rain so they could get like the natural rain and wind during one of the storms we had. Help them grow even stronger. They're beautiful. It's going amazingly well.
So far so good.
Yes.
For sure. They look great. We're starting to think about getting them transplanted into something bigger now.
They are a little soggy though because of all the rain. So we have to be careful so they don't get too mushy.
Yeah, we have left them outside for the last couple of days. They started to sort of air out pretty much. Yeah, they're not drying out too fast or anything like that. They're doing good. Good. Looking pretty good. So there's your update on the plants. Naomi.
That's right. I haven't killed them yet.
Naomi hasn't murdered any of Mother Earth's children.
No, not yet.
Just quite yet. Quite yet. So.
But then we found out too the cilantro is going to be a little bit more difficult. Like, there's actual work involved where we have to, prune it. We can't just let it grow wild because it'll get bitter. So I am starting to get a little nervous about that part.
Yeah, because there's lengths of, how tall it should be and all that stuff. And it's like, well, according to who? And measure from where to where.
Yeah,
so.
because, I'm used to the tomatoes and, the peppers. You just let those things grow. You don't even have to do anything. You let them grow outside. You don't even have to water it.
Yeah, right.
It'll rain. They're fine.
You just pluck them off and, wash them and eat them.
There you go.
With cilantro, it's a whole thing,
Pruning?
Apparently.
How do you prune something?
We'll find out. Naomi will get first prune. And
That's right.
We'll see if she can handle it and if she kills the cilantro.
We'll see.
Which I feel like is such an easy thing that you can grow on your countertop. So if you kill...
I should be okay.
I mean, she did kill a cactus, gang. So if you don't remember
about it.
or you don't know, she did kill a cactus. So there's that.
It happens.
There's that. So since gardening we're so excited about gardening all of a sudden, it feels like a very weird kind of oh my God, I'm old now.
It does feel like that.
It's like an adult activity that now I'm stoked about doing.
Listen,
Although, I've gardened my whole life, so whatever.
Yeah, but it is an adult activity. When you're like, I gotta weed the garden, I gotta make sure my plants are nice. Yeah, you're getting old.
And you know,
it's
you
just
start
what it is.
worrying about that, and then you gotta
Yeah.
go shopping for fertilizer now. When you're like,
Yes.
what the hell am I doing on a Saturday?
I'm buying poop. Like, what the heck?
Nice little Saturday.
I didn't think I was gonna be doing that. Spending money on it?
Maybe Home Depot later if there's time. I don't know
Yes.
if there's time. All right. So speaking of, you know, stuff like that, boring adult shit.
Yeah.
I've got a list here from, you know, somewhere on the internet. Who knows? Probably Reddit or something like that. Millennials and Gen Xers talking about the adult things that seemed boring when they were younger, but really excite them now.
Oh.
I thought fitting since we're talking about the plants all the time.
Yeah, gardening is definitely fitting there.
And I like this. I guess no particular order.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, my mom would be like, hey, do you want to pull weeds in the garden for an hour and I'll give you like $1? And I'd be like, well, I guess I want $1, you know, but it was a chore. It was work, you know. Now it's like, I'm going to make it look so nice.
I feel like pulling weeds in the garden was a punishment in almost every television show I've ever seen, ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And now it's what people do
you know,
so that their garden's
I got to get out there, man. They're starting to encroach.
Yeah. Gotta take care of my tomatoes.
So from the internet's the list, the millennials and Gen Xers are talking about. These are great. Number one, which is not for me, but I'm sure you could dig it. Slicing into a ripe avocado.
Oh, yeah. Yes. That is good.
I know nothing. What is it, nice and smooth?
It's just the way you cut it. It's like there's nothing there. It's like air.
So boring adult things that are exciting.
Yeah.
Because you're boring now.
Yeah.
So perfect way to start.
Yeah, I'm boring. I know.
Bird watching, number 2 on the list. I can't say I'm there yet.
No, I'm definitely not there.
It is cool. Like when we were in Costa Rica and like saw the like toucan and you know the parrots and stuff like that. Like that's like, hey, cool. But I'm not like going out with a little notepad and bird watching.
I will admit that my hatred for birds has slowly lessened as I got older.
I forget that there was a hatred of birds there.
There was when I was younger. It's just like they start making noise too early in the morning. I'm trying to sleep still. And now it's like, okay, I hear the birds chirping. It's time to get up. I'll see a cardinal and be like, oh, wow, that bird is very red. Cool. But I'm not to the point where, hey, what is that bird? Let me look it up and find out what kind of bird it is.
I got to fill out this book, and so I've seen every bird in North America and shit like that. No,
yeah, that's not going to happen.
No.
Ever.
Definitely
I don't, not even when I'm 60. I draw the line here at just pointing out the pretty, colorful birds.
You have that past, so you know, I don't think that'll fade at 60. Yeah, you know what? Now I'm going to go find them all.
I'm not mad
Pokemon.
Anymore.
Oh goodness! Instant Pot's the next one on the list. We tried using the Instant Pot because somebody gave us one.
Yep.
And I think
sorry, Mom and Dad.
We burnt whatever we tried to make in it, and
we did.
Just is like, hey, you know what? How about no?
Yep.
We've got a crock pot and we've got a stovetop pot. And now I sound old, like no, I'm afraid of microwaves, but just Instant Pot, just not for me.
It didn't work out the way we wanted to. We tried it once and then we gave up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. This one is absolutely for you. Organizing. And by extension, the Container Store.
Ooh. Listen, I would love the Container Store if I didn't think it was such a waste of money. I am not spending $15 on a specific size container. I just cannot do that.
But if you ever really need one.
I know where to go. Yes. And if I had that kind of
money and free time?
Yeah, then I absolutely would. I would waste so much money on the perfectly sized containers.
So
yes.
So yes to the check on this one on the list. Organizing.
I'm
okay, a little bit with getting organized myself.
Yeah.
I always kind of like to try to keep things, somewhat in their places.
Yeah.
So when everything gets askew and then you put it back, like all right,
it's a good feeling.
I guess I can add that one myself. Check mark on that one. Alone time, another one. Sitting in silence or doing just absolutely nothing.
Ooh, yes.
Because, there's so much stuff going on. And if you got kids, you got even more shit going on. Like, that I just feel bad for, like I'm just over here complaining because, like, I got a bunch of work events. And then Wednesday through Sunday, I'm free.
Yeah. So you got nothing to worry about. Yeah.
A bunch of work events. So one.
One thing to do.
That's a lot. I get busy,
Yeah.
So alone time, sitting in silence, doing nothing, stuff like that.
That's a good one.
You used to get punished, sent to be alone. Now it's like, all right. Paying bills. You get done paying bills, you get that like.
It's a good feeling when you're done.
Well, I mean, if you can afford your bills, yeah.
Well, just when you're done and it's like everything is taken care of. Okay.
It's more relief.
It's just nice
for me.
Yes.
I don't enjoy it though.
Well, no, because if I didn't have to pay the bills, I definitely wouldn't. I would like to keep that money.
Yeah, that absolutely. Checking off items from your to-do list.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
I make a to-do list so that I can cross them off and get that like little boost of whatever it is, endorphin or...
Yeah, it's such a good feeling.
Right.
I write
Serotonin,
stupid things down on that list so I can cross them off. Like, I get really specific.
Will you put
like,
something on the list after you've done it? Just so you can cross it off?
I try not to do that one. Wow.
Most
okay.
of the time, though, it's so I remember that I did it.
Okay.
So if I have to look
That
back and
makes
go, oh, yeah, I
sense.
did
That's
this
a good
that
excuse.
day. That is
Yeah.
the excuse, too.
Yeah. I'll just, like, break things down real simple, like wash dishes, dry dishes, put dishes away.
Oh, wow.
So then I get to cross off 3 items instead of just 1.
That's perfect. I
Yeah.
like it. Instead of do laundry, you're like, do...
Wash clothes, dry
wash
clothes.
Darks, wash lights, wash
I try
towels.
not to go that far in, but sometimes I do.
You would.
Yeah.
You would.
Yeah.
Do dishes, cups, plates, silverware. Let's see what else we got on this list. There's a couple of more. Puzzles. How stupid is that? We've only done, what, 2?
Yeah.
Did we do 2? We've done 2 puzzles.
Yeah.
But it was like, hey, you know. But I don't know. I'd break out a beer, sip on that, put together
Yeah.
the puzzle.
We
I mean,
added
we're
alcohol
just
so
sitting
it
there
makes it
otherwise.
more young adult.
Now, would I rather not be in the house, maybe out at a bar or something like that? Yeah, I would
Yeah.
say yeah, 100%. But we've done it. High quality bedding and spending time sleeping in that high quality bedding. That's a guilty one. I'm check both of us off on that one.
When Luke washes the bed sheets
2 or
and
3
the
times a year.
blankets and the pillows, you do it more than that. We're not that disgusting. A little disgusting, but not that bad. And then he'll make the bed and everything. Oh, gosh, that's the best. I always think at that moment, like, if I were rich, I would have expensive bedding.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
because that feeling when you get into bed after everything's nice and clean and tucked
Absolutely.
in. It's amazing.
And I mean, you know, like a really nice mattress. But here we are, just proving the point of this list.
Yeah, we are.
Going to the grocery store or a place like CVS or something like that and getting a great deal. Someone said swiping my loyalty card and watching the total drop.
I can see that,
We
yes.
had that happen the other day. We were at Harris Teeter, and we got a couple
Oh,
of things of
yeah.
barbecue sauce. And when we looked at the receipt, it was like, buy one,
No
get one free or some
way.
junk like
Yeah.
that. It was like, hey, all right.
We almost went back in. I was like, we should stock up.
This one on the list is just walking into a Costco.
Yeah, I do like that feeling.
Yeah, so I guess I could agree with that one too. Because
Yeah.
walking to Costco is like, hey, yeah, I'm about to spend so much money.
Let's get some stuff.
Then like there's a couple simple ones, cleaning and yard work, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which, you know, if I had a yard, I would definitely get excited about mowing the lawn and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Never had to because my dad enjoys it just so much. So he was like, no, I don't want you doing it. I want to do it. Getting up early on a Saturday to go to the local farmer's market.
We did that like once or twice, and I enjoyed it.
Getting up early on a Saturday is just an accomplishment for us in and of
Yes.
itself. Sitting out on the porch with a cup of coffee, I'll take that one if you
Yeah.
want to replace the farmer's market.
Yeah, because the issue I have with the farmer's market is I don't like to spend money.
Right.
So
Yeah. So, you know, $11.2 for a piece of tomato.
yeah,
No thanks.
I'll get it
And,
out of my garden.
There is one more on the list, and it's leftovers. I've never really been excited about leftovers. There's a couple of things, but I
feel
know
like,
you will.
I feel like you're growing into it a little bit more though, because before
Well
you
done.
were like, no way with any leftovers, and now you're like, well, 2 or 3 things are okay if they're leftover. I've always loved them, and so it works out when you make too much food, and I'm like, hey, I get this again tomorrow. Cool.
So you definitely do get down with the leftovers.
Oh, absolutely. But that's not a getting older thing, because I got done with the leftovers as a kid too. I never had a problem with the leftovers.
All right. Excellent.
Here for
point.
extra food.
See, there was a couple on there where it's like I've liked that just forever. You know, some
Yeah.
of the organization stuff and whatnot. But there you go. That's the stuff that is just boring because we're old, we enjoy.
Yes. Yeah.
And now that brings us to our recurrent dose of Did You Know? If you are new to the pod, we just like to enrich your lives with a couple of nonsensical random facts.
That's right.
Every episode, your recurrent dose of Did You Know, because we don't always go weekly. All right. Did you know that most snails have both male and female genitalia? So they can quickly and easily, this is how it's written, mate with basically any other snail.
Huh. Okay.
That's pretty
Good to know. There should never be a shortage of snails. So if you like escargot, you're set.
Did you know out of 44 presidents, there are only 14 to serve 2 full terms in office?
Okay.
I mean, it's random, and it's a fact.
Yeah.
I didn't say it was exciting. Okay?
No, that one was really boring.
Did you know Six Flags got its name because of the 6 different nations Texas has been a part of?
Really?
Yeah.
That one was interesting.
Well, Spain, France, Mexico, the Republic of Texas, the U.S., and the Confederacy.
Oh, okay.
All 6. Did you know Best Buy was originally called Sound of Music? They launched in 1966, and then it wasn't until like 1983 that they changed the name to Best Buy. So they must have started somewhere as like, you're a local electronics store.
Yeah. And then just grew. Yeah.
There you go. And finally, did you know the tiny, impossible-to-use handles on the maple syrup bottles? You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, yes.
It's called a skeuomorph,
Okay.
which is a design element that helps you recognize what something is, even if it doesn't have a purpose beyond that. So, like the tiny handles is an example.
Okay.
And
so every time you see something with a tiny handle, you're going to assume that that's maple syrup.
pretty much. Or, it makes you think of like the old-timey jugs that maple syrup used to come in. The tiny handles have been added for almost 100 years because of the old stoneware jugs that maple syrup used to be stored in. So it's just kind of like an homage to that.
Interesting.
But those jugs had handles large enough to actually hold. Just to throw that out there.
Huh. Okay.
Skeuomorph, a design element that helps you recognize what something is, even if it doesn't have a purpose beyond helping you recognize what it is. And that is your recurrent dose of Did You Know? Last week, because we want everybody to check out our Facebook page, you got to check out our Facebook page, Luke and Naomi on air on Facebook. We asked everybody if E.T.'s scary. Saw a thing where everybody's hollering about it back and forth on, Twitter or TikTok or some junk like that.
I feel like people just go on Twitter just to yell.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Oh, man.
Yeah, E.T. is scary. No, he's not. Yes, he is.
You want
come on.
You want to know, like, the worst thing about anything? Try not, if you're a regular internet user, scroller, whatever, no matter what platform is, try to not look at a comment. Like, consciously pay attention and do not look at any comments. No matter how you feel about whatever video or post you saw, try not to look at the comments.
That sounds really, really hard.
Because I hate them. Everybody's so terrible sometimes. I hate comment sections. And
Me too,
find
but I
myself
have
reading
to
them.
read them all. Yeah.
It's our insatiable thirst for drama as human beings, I think. But
I guess so.
that is a completely different story for another time.
That kind of makes me feel bad about myself, if I'm being honest here. Like,
It's just something I've noticed, and it's like, oh God, I really wish I could not go in the comment section, but I do.
oh yeah, and I go on the ones where there's like a comment and there's like 25
95
replies, and I'm reading through all of that to hear this person get ripped to pieces and have one person stick up for them.
It's insane.
Yes.
Yeah. So try.
I thought I didn't like drama either, but that is making me think that apparently deep down I do if I'm reading all that.
So people like drama so much that they were arguing about E.T. Not the movie, but the character. Is E.T. the character, the doll, the puppet, whatever you want to call it? Is E.T. himself scary?
Which is a big fat no. And if you say yes, I need reasons why.
Well,
because no.
It was very resounding no. On our Facebook page. We put up the thing, like for yes and heart for no, and the hearts won it.
Okay.
But
a few people said yes, he's scary.
Really only got one who said he was scary, but it wasn't saying E.T. was scary. It was saying the people were scarier than E.T. in the movie because they're trying to,
Okay, yeah.
trying to dissect him and out to get him and all that stuff. The people were scary.
Okay, I can see that.
But yeah, pretty much it was a resounding no from our people anyway.
Good.
So Luke and Naomi on air, if you haven't voted, you still can. There's still time if you, for some reason, think E.T.'s scary and you want to say
let us know. Yeah,
you
put it on there.
Yep. So That, and because we want to have some more fun, we've got another question that kind of ties in to that whole boring adult things list we were talking about.
Okay.
Or exciting things now that you're an adult. I don't know how to say it correctly anyway. What small everyday things like that list make you feel like a grown-up?
Probably when I have to go run an errand and I actually do it.
And does it help if you get it done fast?
Yeah, probably.
I don't know why that popped in my head, but it just, because my thing, like I was thinking about this, is if I get all the laundry done in one day, I try to do laundry on Sundays.
Yeah.
And if I get all the laundry done on one day, it's like, all right, I feel accomplished and like an adult, like a grown up. You know what I mean?
Not only that, but like a good adult. Like, look what I did.
A good adult. I did my chores.
That's right.
You know.
And I don't even get allowance for this, so
or like,
look at me go.
When you get cleaned up after dinner, like if you make a nice dinner, and like then we'll make dinner together, and then we'll kind of clean up together. And when we get all kinds of done at the same time, it's like, look at that.
Yeah,
all
the kitchen's
right.
all nice and clean.
We didn't leave it like my dorm room kitchen looked like back in college.
With food sitting out.
Because at one point in your life, you just didn't care if the milk coagulated in the bowl of cereal you didn't finish.
No.
That's
Why
terrible.
would you?
I've never done that. But anyway, let us know what you think. Right on the Facebook page, Luke and Naomi on air on Facebook. What small everyday things make you feel like a grown-up? And it doesn't have to be a chore, an accomplishment. I mean, obviously, paying bills does, because you're reminded that you're a grown-up, and feels
you learn that real fast.
Feels a little bit more like being a grown-up in prison sometimes.
Yeah,
but
paying those dang bills.
All of that. So let us know, and we'll get to a couple of those next episode.
That's right.
All right, and that is gonna do it. I don't know if I could pull off getting the Footloose music. I don't think Kenny Loggins would be happy if we're using
probably
his
not
actual music. So we'll go with our traditional Naomi's Under a Rock review intro. Do you want to hit the button?
No, I think you should.
All right.
Beautiful. Thanks.
There we go.
Yeah.
It is time to find out what Naomi and, I'll throw some stuff in there too, thought of her first time watching Footloose. 1984's Footloose. Kevin Bacon, of course. I didn't know pretty much anybody else but John Lithgow in the movie.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to find out. Take it away.
All right. So we're meeting our key players right off the bat. We got Kevin Bacon, who is this new kid named Ren. That's going to be starting high school. He meets Ariel, who's the pastor's daughter. The pastor was preaching about rock and roll music and how the world has basically gone to hell, all the crime and all that, which I couldn't help but say out loud, "Oh, pastor, you just wait." Which I always do, by the way, in any movie when they're talking about, and it's like in not olden times, in the 80s or 90s or even early 2000s,
the
when
olden
people
times.
are like, things have gone to hell, everything's terrible and all this. I'm just like, oh man, you just wait.
You just wait.
Yes.
Yeah. The late 1900s.
Well,
Creepy way to put that, isn't it?
But it is true.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, he's talking about, all the crime and how the world's gone to hell, all of this kind of stuff. Anyway, I think I get what's happening here. The scene has been set. Rock and roll music is bad. Nobody should dance. They're probably going to cancel a school dance or something like that. The kids are going to have to get it back going and show the old timers that dancing isn't bad and rock and roll music won't kill you. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. So Ariel, the pastor's daughter, she's a wild child.
The ultimate, hey, what stunt could we come up with to show that she's insane?
Yeah. Well, they do it multiple times in the movie.
Whatever they think of, let's go even farther beyond that line.
Yeah, so she almost kills herself. She's jumping from one car into her boyfriend's truck, but then halfway in between, she just stands on the window ledges of both vehicles as a semi's coming down the road. And it's okay, she's going to end up making her friends end up dying or something like that. She just has no care in the world.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't know many semi-truck drivers, but most of the ones I do know, if they were approaching a situation like that, they would slow down.
You would think.
Use the brakes or the engine braking or something like that.
He probably figured that there is no way that these kids are that stupid
But
One of them's gonna move eventually, right?
I'm just to make fun of the movie. I'm like they're on this big long road. The truck sees them and just no attempt to slow down.
No,
honk,
they'll move.
Honk.
They'll move or they'll get squished.
Fantastic.
Yeah. All right, so then we see her. She's at this like hot spot. It's this like drive-in kind of diner place. Everyone's getting food, hanging out, all that. She's blasting that rock and roll music her dad warned the congregation about in the first scenes of the movie. Of course, her dad ends up seeing her, and he mentions he stopped by because they figured she would need a couple of dollars for drinks and food. And it's kind of just this weird, awkward moment. All right, so
yeah, I know. I thought he was gonna like explode.
Yeah, I thought
start preaching and all that stuff. Being
I thought
a preacher,
he would yell and kind of cause a scene. And when he just like walked over and was just kind of surprised by her, it was kind of interesting. All right, so awkward moment. At this point, I guess it's a little worse than I thought. It's not that the school dance is canceled; there is no school dance. Dancing is apparently illegal, which now I've seen some spoofs of this. Obviously, we all have. I just assumed that was the over-exaggerated part, that dancing is illegal, not that that's really what the movie is about.
So one of the reasons that I think that I've never seen Footloose is because I always thought like that's so freaking absurd of a law or a rule to have. That seems like the movie's going to be terribly forced and just a little ridiculous, a little Stephen Sondheim, Rodgers and Hammerstein musically, just like it just never appealed to me,
Okay.
Because it just seemed like such a forced idea. Like, okay.
But I feel like they pull it off decently well.
After watching it, it's like, yeah, okay, I get how they did it. It made a lot more sense within the context of the actual movie.
Yeah. So dancing is apparently illegal. That is not a part that was, exaggerated for spoofs and all of that. We meet Willard, who is Ren's friend, his new friend at the high school. He basically explains it's because a bunch of kids got killed a couple of years ago, and the town blamed it on booze, music, and partying. So they're like, all right, well, we're just not going to let kids do this anymore.
Yeah.
All right, we meet Chuck, who is Ariel's boyfriend. He's like this alpha male guy in charge type deal. Ren ends up insulting him, so he sends Ariel to his work to tell him to meet on his daddy's farm at 5:30. Ends up being this game of chicken with tractors.
I love it.
All I can think about this entire time is, first of all, you have nothing better to do. And second of all, those tractors are expensive. You're going to damage one of those just because you're messing around. Pretty sure you're all going to be dead.
Yeah. Plus, okay. Was it go get a tractor or did Chuck bring two?
I figured Truck brought two because it's his daddy's farm.
Yeah, okay.
So I bet you they were both his daddy's.
So it's like, here, use one. That is just so goofy to me. I love it.
And it's just, again, you're going to crash these tractors into each other. Farm equipment is expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Man,
Yeah, it is.
no way. Anyway, Ren ends up winning. Chuck jumps off the tractor first into some water, but also thinking about how Chuck is going to be dead now too because he ended up flipping that tractor after he jumped off of it. All right, so now Ariel's all interested in Ren. I'm sure they'll get together in the end. They do.
Right.
Anyway, Ren's uncle or whoever that he's staying with starts accusing Ren of causing all this trouble in town. He's like, people are talking. So now Ren's all pissed off, gets in his car, pulls out to this like abandoned area, starts blasting his music and dancing. Now it's a pretty long dance scene, honestly. They really could have shortened that up a bit, but whatever. They played like the actual full song.
They did.
And he dances to the entire song.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
All the way through the old-ass factory or whatever it was.
Which happens multiple times in this movie. I think we have a total of 5 times in this movie where we have dancing scenes and they play the entire song.
Oh, yeah.
Which, cool and all, but...
And Footloose full on twice.
Yes.
Like, they got their money's worth out of that song.
Well,
at least twice.
They played it fully twice, and they played clips of it, I think, 2 other times. All I could think
Plus
about...
the opening, right?
All I could think about was Oh Brother, We're Out Thou and Man of Constant Sorrow, because that song plays like 4 times, and then if you buy the album, it's on there 4 times.
Nice.
Yes. It goes right along with the movie. And that's all I could think about while this was happening.
Pretty sure I like Man of Constant Sorrow better, though.
Than Footloose? Yeah, well, it is a better song.
It's not bad, though. Shout out Kenny Loggins.
Yeah, well. All right, so anyways, he's got this whole dance scene, all of that. Apparently Ariel was over there watching him dance, so now she's more interested in him.
I like how she said, when we see her creeping up on him and all that stuff, and she was like, you pretty much can't go anywhere in this town without anybody knowing where you are.
Which, yeah,
it's
true.
It's a great small town detail that him being from not a small town wouldn't realize. So like that kind of fit really neat. I don't know why, that little detail I liked.
It did. So she ends up showing him some of the places her and her friends go, including this area where like the trains come by. She says when they come by, they either make out or they start screaming. So then she shows Ren her crazy side because he hasn't seen this wild child yet. And she's standing on the tracks as this train is approaching. And it just keeps getting closer and closer, and he's yelling at her, and she's just staring down this train. And I'm starting to get annoyed at her at this point. Like, her bad self-destructive streak, again, is going to end up getting somebody else killed just because of whatever she's missing in her life and can't figure out.
It also seems to be like a very 80s thing to mess around with trains. I feel like there's several 80s movies that have something along those lines in them too, which is just it was a great throwback for me.
Yeah. But anyway, so Ren, finally being the gentleman that he is, comes running up and pushes her out of the way so she doesn't get squished. All right, so Ren, his friend Willard, Ariel, and her friend Rusty decide to sneak out so Ren can show them what they're all missing when it comes to dancing and partying and having a good time.
Sarah Jessica Parker was Rusty, by the way.
That's right.
Which, little trivia. Sarah Jessica Parker played a character named Rusty.
So they cross state lines. They go to a bar so they can dance and have a good time, which has to blow up in their faces at some point. Like they're going to get caught or they're going to get caught coming back or something's got to happen,
That's what I
right?
figured.
Yeah. They don't really, though.
No,
so
not
that
really.
that was a surprise there.
But that was the first full playing of Footloose. Also
Besides
in the movie.
first part?
Yes.
Yeah. The opening credits, they play the full song.
Yeah.
And I was busy watching the dances because it opens up with Footloose, the credits, and it's just feet dancing. And all I could think about is what is the rest of the body doing during this dance?
Nothing.
Just sitting there.
Just the feet move. Everybody was sitting down.
Moving their feet.
Moving their feet,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. That would honestly make more sense to what I saw, but, all right. So they don't really get in trouble. The pastor confronts Ariel saying he called Rusty's family last night and knows she was lying about where she was, and Ariel's just like, okay, whatever. She really didn't care.
Yeah, right.
They have a little yelling match back and forth, but that's about it. But the pastor also slaps her, so I guess it escalates a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, slaps her in the face. Later admits to his wife he's never hit anyone before, but, kids, man.
Why not start on your daughter?
Yeah. Well, she was being a brat, and she has been a wild child and out of control.
John Lithgow was great in this, by the way, which I figured and all that stuff because I didn't even realize he was in it.
Yeah.
But as soon as we saw John Lithgow, Naomi goes, he's an alien.
That's right.
That's the
third
first thing
rock
she
from the
said.
sun.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's how I know that guy.
That's how I figured. That's how you would know him too.
Yes.
Because there's that 90s television that you know pretty well.
That's
so.
right. All right, so Ren wants to have a dance for the seniors. He started telling people about it. Some are interested. Some of Chuck's goons come after him about it. But at this point, he's made enough friends that someone was there to protect him. He's going to have to go to the city council about this dance, though. There's 7 men who basically run the town. He says if he does do this, though, Willard, his new best friend, has to learn to dance. So we have another musical montage. This one, Ren teaching Willard how to dance while Let's Hear It for the Boy plays.
Let's hear it for the boy.
We got to hear that song in its entirety.
The whole thing.
That one
I
is
love
definitely
80s movies,
one
man.
you do not need to hear the whole song for it. They really could have cut down that dance.
There was a point in that I was like, oh, we're all right. We're doing the whole song. Okay.
Yeah. At this point, I'm realizing there's more dancing and music in this movie than actual dialogue throughout the entire
There
thing.
kind of is, isn't there?
Yeah. All right, so Ariel goes to meet up with Chuck to probably officially break up because, she's been hanging out with Ren. We know they like each other. They end up getting into a fist fight, which I definitely didn't see coming because Chuck punches her multiple times.
My biggest surprise of the whole thing is just this, dude beats up girl right in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, first of all, don't get me wrong. Like, she gets out of control real fast, and, like, attacks him. But instead of him, like, just, I mean, he's a big dude. And she's tiny. Like, he could just, like, hold her and be like, go away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
then it escalates. She grabs, like, a metal pipe out of the back of his car and smashes his headlights and his windshield. And then he gets mad and, like, she tries to, like, hold him down. So he starts, like, punching her in the stomach and then, like, punches her in the face.
It's
and
an
I'm just
incredibly
like,
uncomfortable scene in 2024. I got to tell you.
it is.
It
I
would
don't.
have been in whenever 1984 for me too. I'm just saying. I was a year old. So
At this point, I don't even think you can make a movie like that. So that was a very vicious scene that I really didn't expect in this very lighthearted movie about dancing.
Right? Yeah, for real. That snuck up on you.
Yeah. All right. So they're getting all these people together who are going to come to the council meeting in support of the dance. Ariel gives Ren a Bible with certain passages picked out. I'm guessing they have to do something with dancing or, something to that effect.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was.
Right.
So Ren goes to the town council, reads the verses from the Bible talking about dancing, and pleads his case, but it still doesn't seem like he's persuaded the council at this point. In the church, the pastor practices a sermon, and Ariel, like, walks in as he's practicing. She takes a seat in one of the pews. Probably one of the best parts of this movie, or at least the part that I liked the best. So they start arguing about this dance situation. And Ariel's like, because you think we're all going to fornicate to that music. And her dad's like, I never said that. And she says, I know you did say that to, like, the church congregation or something to that. And basically, she's calling him out for trying to protect her and all of this stuff. And then at one point, she even says that she isn't even a virgin anymore. Which basically causes him to lose his shit at this point. But she gets down on her knees and she's like, isn't this the place where I'm supposed to ask for forgiveness? She's in a church and she puts her hands up like this. It's a really well written scene.
Yeah.
So they're having all their emotional turmoil there. A person comes running in, saying the pastor is needed at the library because they're doing a book burning.
Right.
Because that's always a good sign when your town is doing a book burning.
Oh yeah. Happy Midwest.
Yeah. So the pastor actually kicks them out for doing the book burning. Like, he goes out to the library, he sees everyone, and he's just basically like, stop it, you guys.
Yeah, so while he's raging against rock and roll the whole time and dancing and music and stuff like that, he's also fighting this battle on the other side against the people who want to burn a bunch of books in town. So he's, you definitely see how he's caught in the middle.
Yeah.
Like that, which is it's an interesting wrinkle. And, like, I did not expect this movie to get as deep as it did in a couple of spots. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So they're doing that book burning, and he's just basically telling these people, he's asking them, like, who made you the judge of everything and everyone? And he's like, Satan is not in these books. So at this point, I'm like, well, at least he's got that right. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Then we see everyone at church again. The pastor basically asks the townspeople to pray for the kids that are going to be heading to prom. That's their, nice little reveal of, okay, the dance is going to happen.
Or at least be supported by him.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's technically still illegal, right? Or is it in a different town, so then it's okay?
No, it's in a different town. Remember the dude who told them about, like, the whatever town line runs right up to the tracks over here? And,
yeah, so then it's okay, because it's in a different town.
So they're not breaking the law.
Okay.
The church can't condone breaking the law, so it's like, okay, now you're legal. We still don't want you to do it because of, the fornicating.
Yeah.
But, has everybody pray for him. Right after the whole library scene, it skips to him and, like, the pastor and Ren.
Yes.
Having that nice little conversation. Like, Ren went to him and said, hey, we're going to do this anyway. Can I have your permission to ask your daughter?
Yeah.
Which I think, supposed to help flip his decision, especially after his big speech about what's in your heart and all that stuff at the library.
Right. Which probably did, help him go, okay, well, I should think about this a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, so the kids are decorating. We get all the scenes of the kids decorating, getting ready to host this prom. And at first, no one's dancing. Probably because they don't know how to dance because they've never been allowed to dance.
I love it.
So Ren and Ariel get there, they start dancing, so then everybody else joins in.
That was great too. They just walk in the door and start, like, didn't even acknowledge anybody. Just walk
No.
in the door and start dancing.
And it worked. Everyone else started dancing around them. Also, at one point, Chuck and his buddies attack Willard, which I feel like was just so unneeded for the end of this movie. Like,
We had
let's
to have
just
the
wrap it up.
confrontation with the bad guy.
No, we already did, like, multiple times. Like, who cares? Like, just forget about him.
The low-level bad guy.
You weren't invited to prom. Nobody wants to dance with you. Get out of here.
That's right. Goodbye, man.
Yeah. So anyways, like, they all start fighting, but of course, Willard wins and all of that kind of stuff. And then we just end with everybody dancing. We've got a very long dance scene again.
That would be our third full playthrough of Footloose.
Yes, and we've got all the glitter, and we've got fake balloon kind of stuff smeared at the bottoms of the screen, so it just looks like you're looking through balloons for a little while.
Yep.
But one thing I do want to call out, and I did say this vocally last night when we watched the movie, some of those dance moves are popular right now.
Oh, yeah. There's some popping and locking in there.
I saw that and went, no frickin' way.
Like a couple circle steps and stuff like that. Yeah, there's some absolute still modern stuff going on that they were doing back then.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Most definitely. It's cool to see the breakdancing at the end, too. It was great.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, breakdancing.
And that's how it ends. Everybody dancing, having a good time. Footloose.
Down and down and down. Anyway. Well, okay. Great. Thank you for sitting through Footloose. I thank myself for sitting through Footloose.
There you go. Yeah.
I can't imagine. Anyway, we have a set of review questions that Naomi gets every single time that we watch a new movie.
Yep.
Sometimes all the questions make sense in the context of the movie we just watched. Sometimes they don't. We ask them anyway.
That's right.
It's all kinds of fun. The first question is always, did you like it?
More than I thought I was going to.
Yeah?
Yeah. So I'm gonna be completely candid here. When we were picking out a movie last night, I went, let's do Footloose. I feel like ripping that to pieces. I was ready to just be mean. And I wasn't. Like,
No, you definitely weren't. And I was wondering.
I enjoyed the movie more than I thought I was going to enjoy the movie. Even for all its 80s-ness.
There's some real goofy 80s movie stuff in there. And,
yes.
Again, like the whole premise of dancing is illegal.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell are you going to make that something like that illegal? But whatever.
I don't know. I don't feel like it's even that far-fetched, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's
like
probably not.
I can actually see that being a thing.
There's probably some places where it actually happened and whatnot. And I can't decide if I liked it or not.
Maybe you have to watch it again to decide.
No. Okay, so that would be my decider. Like, nah,
Okay.
I don't need to watch Footloose again.
Would you stop and watch it if it was on TV?
I thought about that, and no.
Okay.
What
if I had it on? Would you walk by and go, oh, I guess I'll watch this for a few minutes while she's got it on?
I'd stare at it for a couple of minutes,
There you
probably
go.
like that. So,
Okay.
yeah, but there was a couple spots where it just dragged. I feel like you could cut it down to an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, for sure. Like,
And
the story...
That's not even with taking out the entirety of songs here and there.
Listen, the point of the story, the actual climax of the movie, and all of that is very, very, very short. The movie is an hour and 47 minutes long, and it doesn't even need to be half that.
Yeah, you could probably get it done in 40 minutes.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely. Yeah, it drags that time. So that's why they play the full frickin' song for you.
That's right. Nice filler there. Question the second. What did you know about Footloose going in? And, is almost everything the answer?
Almost. I didn't think it was going to be that dancing was actually illegal. I thought that was just like an exaggerated thing. I knew it was like dancing's bad and you can't do it. I knew that the song Footloose was going to be in there multiple times. I knew Kevin Bacon was going to be in there. I thought this was the movie something about Baby in a Corner, but I guess that's Dirty Dancing.
So now that you say that, I must have gotten some Dirty Dancing ideas mixed up with Footloose because, like, Dirty Dancing's the one that I know I've seen parts of. It's been on, my older female cousins always had it on when they visited my grandma and stuff like that. Like, that's got to be what I was confusing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you haven't seen anybody put Baby in the Corner yet.
No, I realized that as it didn't happen. Like, oh, that must have been a different
People
movie.
really like dancing in the 80s, huh?
Yes.
It's crazy.
Don't just think about all the 80s songs you know.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
What else do you do to that? Jam out to that music? No, you dance.
You just gotta dance.
Yep.
All right, so you knew all that stuff going in. What were your thoughts going into Footloose? You alluded a little bit to the idea that you just assumed you weren't going to like it.
Yeah, I was ready to tear this to pieces and just be like, this is so freaking stupid and blah, blah, blah. And I got more involved than I thought I would. And I'm not going to lie, Kevin Bacon, he's a nice looking dude.
He's great, man.
I liked looking at him more than I thought I was going to.
That's awesome. Yeah, I liked it a little bit more than I thought I was going to be. I did not think I was going to be like entertained by it at all.
Yeah.
And it was a lot better of a movie than I thought it could have even been. So next question is, what surprised you?
Probably the girl getting beat up.
The violence.
The violence in the 80s surprised me.
That was a big surprise for me, too. I
Yeah.
really did not see that coming.
It just escalated so quickly. I feel like, honestly, it was not needed. Like, they could have had a screaming match and it would have been fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Know? Her getting beat up didn't add anything to the story.
Yeah, like her father didn't even find out or acknowledge. You know what I mean? Just okay.
Ren saw it, helped her like wipe her face, and that was it. She was fine, back to normal. Maybe it's to show like how tough she was, I guess.
Yeah, that was interesting to say the least.
Yeah.
Would you have liked it more or less if you saw it when you were younger and go to like 12, 15 maybe? I don't know. 8?
It's hard to say, because...
I think I would have liked it more if I saw it when I was probably anywhere younger than 15.
Okay. I feel like I'm the opposite, and I wouldn't have liked it.
No?
Yeah. I feel like I just would not relate, connect, or anything like that. Like dancing, who cares? You know?
Okay.
But I don't know. That one's really probably the hardest time I'm having answering this question.
Okay, no worries. We'll move on to the next one.
You think you'd like it more?
I do.
Younger.
If I saw it like 10 years old or something like that, I don't think I would grow up being like, yeah, Footloose, but I would be like, oh yeah, Footloose is good.
Okay.
Footloose. What was your favorite part?
Definitely the scene in the church.
The scene in the church with between Ariel and the pastor.
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know what my favorite part of this movie is.
The dancing.
Let's hear it for the boy. That
Oh
whole scene.
my gosh, no. That's like the worst scene in this movie.
No, I think my favorite part. No.
Okay.
Is when Ren and Willard meet, because they sort of start, a little grumpy at each other.
Yeah.
And then Ren makes the joke, I like your hat. Do they sell men's clothes at that store too?
Yeah.
And that was it. And then they're buddies. So I think I like that part the best.
That was pretty cool.
Like, that's probably least favorite part.
Her getting her butt kicked.
Yeah.
And all the dancing. There was way too much dancing. I get that that's what the movie is, Footloose. But again, half a song is enough. Half a song is too much.
So you went into this hoping that there wouldn't be too much dancing, huh?
I don't know. I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah, my least favorite part would definitely be the girl getting the shit kicked out of her.
Yeah.
Which was just very over the top to me.
Yeah,
I don't know
uncalled
what it is.
for.
But anyway.
Who's the director and the writer in this? Let's send them like angry letters.
Yeah, we're gonna get him canceled in 40 years later.
Wouldn't be the first time something like that's happened.
Oh, yeah, right. I should just stop talking.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it to someone else who hasn't seen it?
Of course.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I would. If you haven't seen it, you should watch Footloose.
Just Kevin
to
Bacon.
know.
I mean, that was nice.
And I feel like there's several things that came out of that we've seen over and over again in movies that are like, oh, did that start in Footloose?
And watch it just for the end dance scene and see the moves that the kids are still doing today.
Oh, yeah. The last couple of guys who were breakdancing.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And some of the like popping motions and all that. I'm like, dude, that's what people do now. And that's crazy.
Fun to watch.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Will you watch it again? Would you watch it again?
Possibly.
Possibly?
Yeah.
I don't think I need to.
Okay.
Stop and watch it if it's on TV?
Maybe. Depends on what else I'm doing.
Are you happy you watched it?
Of course.
Halfway through, I was like, this was a dud. But after watching, I'm happy I watched it too.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, that is our review of
That's right. We teamed up on this one.
Naomi's first time watching Footloose. Thanks for hanging with us through another episode of Luke and Naomi on Air's Under a Rock Reviews. Thanks for hanging with us through another Under a Rock review.
That's right. All right, it's time for Thought of the Day.
Thought of the day, thought of the day. It's your thought of the day. That was terrible. Thought of the day.
Take two?
It's terrible every time. No, I'm not doing that again.
Oh,
Absolutely
come
not. I
on.
gotta just record this, like do an absolute good one, or have somebody do it for me,
And just keep playing it.
and then
You know
we'll
what
just
you
drop
should
that in
do?
there.
The
Pretend it's me.
the first time we have a guest, we should force them to sing that.
We'll force. If you don't know, I've been doing that since somewhere around 2019
Yeah.
for our thought of the day, or shower thoughts, or whatever you want to consider the
Thought.
whatever you want to label the thought.
Yes.
How about that? Yeah.
All right, are you ready for the thought?
Lay it on me.
Okay. There is no better indicator of our work-life imbalance than the entire energy drink and supplement industry.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, you know how you're crashing because you work 16 hours? Drink this.
Wow. Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of sad.
How about that?
All right, Luke, you going to leave us with a laugh?
I'm gonna do my best.
What do you got for
I'm gonna
us?
do my best. Let's see here. I went to the doctor the other day. He said, you got high blood pressure and short-term memory loss. I said, well, at least I don't have high blood pressure.
That's stupid. Gotta have something better than that. Come on.
The man who invented throat lozenges died last week. There was no coffin at the funeral.
That's so stupid.
That's great.
No, it's not.
Recent studies show the most expensive vehicle to operate is the grocery cart.
Ooh. I feel that one.
That one was kind of hurtful. I should have
Yeah, that hurt.
saved the coffin at the funeral one for last.
Yeah.
But either way, there you go. That's our dad jokes. Of
That's how
the
you're
week.
going to leave us?
That's what we're gonna leave you with. Till next time. Then you gotta come back for more.
Wow.
You gotta more. Yeah, I know it, right? I
That's
cut
kind
it
of-
way down after doing several every episode.
Yeah, and you left us on a heartbreaking one.
Well, the dude who invented throat lozenges died last week. There was no coffin at the funeral.
You already said that one, though. It doesn't make it better.
Bummer.
Yeah, it's going to be a long week.
What small everyday things make you feel like a grown-up? Let us know on our Facebook page, Luke and Naomi on Air. You can find us pretty much everywhere just by Googling Luke and Naomi on Air, because we come up.
That's right.
And if you are not following us on YouTube, we would really appreciate it if you're watching on YouTube right now. Hit that subscribe button for us. If not, get on over to YouTube, subscribe for us. We need a few more subscriptions before we can get to going live again. And we would love to do that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, go live, have guests in. You know, it'll. We're working on it.
That's right. We'll
Yeah.
get some calls and all of that stuff too. So until episode 80.
Wow.
Episode 80. How
That
about
just
that?
sounds crazy.
It does.
From 79, like this whole time, I'm just like, meh, whatever. 70, wow, we're getting up there, all that. But when you hear 80, like, that's officially old.
That's right.
80.
Episode 80 coming up. ASAP will let you know when we know what the next movie we're going to be reviewing is. Until then, don't forget, Luke and Naomi on Air everywhere. Have some fun this week and be excellent to each other.
Love you. Bye.